video is going to be about ego. About a year ago, I saved to watch for later 2 videos on ego, and one is from somebody, both of them are from somebody that I watch quite often, and that motivates me and has helped me along my journey, which one is Ed Mylett and one is Dr. Ramani. And so I'm finally going to watch their videos today on ego, because I'm way behind on that. I keep having that in the back of my mind. And I'm going to share what I have learned or what I gathered from their video, their teaching on ego, the big E-G-O, ego. Starting the one for Ed Mylett, and the very first thing is love yourself. If you can do work on yourself without looking for anyone to validate you, if you can put work out without worrying about anybody, giving you validation for what you're doing, that is no ego. You're like, I'm going to love it myself and do it myself, what I do, regardless. Say, for example, me, I can talk about me and myself, putting videos out, having no likes, nobody watching them, but it makes me feel good. It's something that I want to do, and I do it consistently as long as I feel like doing it. And so something like that falls under the category of no ego.
Always have people to tell you what to do, what not to do, what they don't like about you, how you're doing this wrong and how you're doing that wrong, and how you should be doing things the way they think you should be doing it. And that's not you. Once you do what you love and get into your mind and be able to think for yourself, regardless of what other people think, regardless of what the majority say, regardless of what society has placed upon you.
Okay, so I'm at the part where people with a big ego have low self-esteem. Those that have high self-esteem, it's not about their ego. I'm not sure. This must be the bad part of ego that I'm getting ready to listen to. But I can see that where that's how I identify ego. The bad part of the ego is those that are insecure, those that have the highest scare tactics, fearful, trying to put their fear onto you, whether it's in the workplace, intimate relationships, don't go here, don't go there, and scared to do this and that because fear of what might happen if somebody is looking at you or watching you do this or that, or is not accepted, so they think. All right. Okay, this is one of the main reasons I'm looking into this, and I know I had saved it for about a year, and it's always been in the back of my head, but I like to look at myself and self-reflect on, just the things about me, what I look in the mirror for, and things that I can improve on, or things that annoys me about me. And so one thing, listening to this, they say you have to be able to love yourself, and then also looking at this ego thing, if somebody got to tell you you have a big ego or you're out of control with your ego, it's then too late. Even though if I am ever told something or to look out for something, how I'm behaving, I'm going to go home and try to figure it out and think about it and reflect on what did I do? What could I have done better? How did I really make, this person feel? And, was it intentional? And what is the definition of intentional when I respond? Something like that. This is so true. When you let go of that ego, your true self come out. For me, I interpret that as, being embarrassed about something, or just not being what other people want me to be, and not being afraid to speak and say what's really on my mind. Learning how to say it with dignity and respect, though. And so he goes on to explain. First, he's going to go through some of the most obvious ways that your ego come out, that you can recognize that, and then the most subtle ways that's not so recognizable. The first one, yikes, defensiveness. You're always on a defense, like really loud about being on a defense, and just over the top defensive. Being on a defense, similar like in those extreme reactions, like they react to what is being said by diverting the conversation or just getting real loud. Extreme reactions, like that's not necessary, instead of, having a decent conversation, listening. And what goes with this is always trying to act like you're right. Nothing else is right but what you have to say. Your way or the highway, or always trying to prove, till no point in return, you're going to prove why you say what you say, why you believe what you believe, and that is the only way, which is your way or the highway. So I know this as a biggie, where the need to always win in an argument, the need to always win in a disagreement or a fight. And I can relate to that so well. Like in intimate relationships, the partner will go on and on and on and on, and I just shut up and be quiet and go walk somewhere, or go and just to not get involved in all that, because no matter what I say, they're going to argue their point and yell and fuss and cuss, and then start to throw those ad hominem, I said that wrong, but just try to throw those insults at me to say, you ain't nothing, you this, you that, you this, or you that, because I won't believe, or they could feel as though I don't believe and not listening to what they're trying to say. I know for sure in the workplace, I have no qualms about saying, I'm sorry, I did that. I apologize for making that mistake. And I've had people to look at me crazy, like, wow, she's admitting to the mistake that she did. And it's good. It feels good for me to do that in front of those people that I have known to lie and place the blame on other people, so that no one can catch them in their lie, knowing flat out that they are lying, right? So when things happen, I make sure I say this in front of those type of people, and they get a little uncomfortable, like, oh my God, I can't believe she's saying apologizing, or saying she agrees, or she's sorry for this or that. But I'm just like, why not? Okay, pride and boastful, being very bragging about what you do, how you do it. But I'm thinking, because you're supposed to feel, you can't get this mixed up with feeling confident within yourself. But boastful, I'm thinking the first thing comes to my mind is putting other people down. I have what you don't have. This, look at me. This is what I have. Aha, you can't compare to what I have or aha, you can't compare to what I do. This is me. It's all about me in those bag of chips. But they are not even, they got to brag about it to where it makes you, they want you to feel bad about yourself by boosting them up. Oh, now I didn't know this falls under ego, is revenge. Ooh. Like being around those people, or even finding that out within, I have to always look within myself. Am I being revengeful? Just because somebody did something to me that hurt me or that wasn't right by me and deceived me or something like that, or whatever's in my mind that they did to me and is wrong. So am I being revengeful? Am I seeking revenge? Am I trying to figure out a way to poison them, to make them sick, to make them, if they fall and trip and I get a large crowd of flying monkeys to laugh at them or something like that, or can't wait until they make one wrong move until and I try to sabotage that so it will happen, so that I can get my satisfaction of revenge or something like that. So watching other people talk about, I'm going to get them back, they shouldn't have never done this to me, and they will not stop until they feel as though they have reached out for some sort of revenge on that person. Okay, the next one is possessiveness. I can see that as trying to control somebody can be a big part of ego. It falls under ego. And it's like they have to have possession over you. They have to be able to tell you how to talk, how to walk, how to look, how to do this and how to do that, according to what is in their mind of you. They possess you, whether it's in an intimate relationship or a workplace relationship. It's like a possession over you, even in the churches or religious, extreme religious people or extreme political people. They got to have possession over you, being so possessive. Constantly talking about other people and gossiping about other people and never having any solutions, just putting them down in every which way possible. I know that's nasty to me, but I didn't know it fell under ego, that big fat ego. So to be honest with myself, yes, I do see that part within myself, because if I'm around people that have the same, that I consider the same mindset as me, and I start talking about other people, I engage into that. But I'm always about a solution, but that's no reason to do that. So to become more aware of that and admit to myself, you do that, you know what I'm saying? Even if it's at a different scale, it's still being done. And so that is a form of that ego, of insecurity, of weaknesses or whatever. So I have to be honest with myself. Yes, I fall into that category as well at times. So the out of control ego, as far as an example they gave, was looking in the mirror and can't stay out of the mirror, like at the gym. They call them gym weirdos, like, flexing all the time. Just flexing while they work out or stuff. And those are the same type of people, the types of pictures that they post, or the type of can't stay out of, if you're, regardless if it's a man or a woman, they just I don't know, just can't. They are so fake, where they just it's everything about the face, everything about the outer look, everything about how somebody else is going to look at you, and it's like always on the surface, nothing deep within that can be discussed. It's always about the look. Okay, bullying falls under ego, also is for insecure and weak people. Bullying comes in all forms. It's sickening within the workplace environment, within any type of relationship that you deal with. I'm sure there's outlandish, outright, where you can spot bullying, and then there's those subtle ways to bully, and you not even know you're being bullied. They're so clever, easy to control you and manipulate you. And but eventually it comes out into the open, and when they can't continue to mask it, continue to hide behind what they are really doing to you. Either way, whether it's outright in front of your face or whether it's hidden, bullying falls under that ego. So now that it's explained, the bullying, I can see myself doing that. Once I learned under the DISC personality assessment, I used to score very high on the control part. And my thing was, the way my personality was to teach, was to get it done, that emergency room type deal, get it done. But when I learned about that in my personality of being demanding, controlling, I had to look within myself and figure out what other types of personalities am I dealing with, because everybody is not going to get it, and tone that down to fit other personalities that I may have been training, teaching, or whatever. So I could have, yes, fallen into that. And I did. It's not no could have fallen into that category of that part of ego, which is a part of bullying, and can be, depending on who I'm dealing with, if they had the very total opposite, they scored high on their assessment, total opposite than me. That's horrible. Totally freaking horrible. Instead of coming together with someone and say, we're in this together. Let me, meet you halfway and really figure out how you think to get things done. And can I put my 2 cents in it too? How I think, and we come together that way, instead of me just get it done. So some of the subtle ways of ego is seeking outside approval from other people, seeing if somebody else will like what you do, and if they don't like it, you're not going to do it, and you let it affect you. I think that could be an example, something like that. But just seeking outside approval instead of, continuing to look within yourself and say, I feel strongly about this, and I don't need anyone's approval to do what I feel with it that's good within my heart. And this falls under also people that are afraid to be alone. They don't like to be alone. It just troubles them to be alone, but they'll look at you and say something is wrong with you for being alone. Like, what are you doing? It can't be possible that you're doing nothing by yourself. Oh my goodness. Why aren't you with someone? It just destroys their whole thinking process to even comprehend that it could be somebody in this world that is alone and happy as hell. Oh my goodness. I'm like, this is going too long. I'm already at 19 minutes, but this is so good. I just can't cut it off yet. And the next one is like only wanting to be around people who agree with you. And immediately that made me think, when I was younger, And I would only let people read my stuff that would give me, I wanted constructive criticism. Don't just tell me what I'm writing sounds good, or, and just leave it at that. Oh, that sounds really, really good. No, construct it and give me some criticism on it. I need to hear what you think. What's your true opinion on what I wrote, or even my actions of when I do something. I love constructive criticism, but I only take it from those that I feel is sincere and that is for me, not someone that is condescending, not someone that does not have my best interest. Another part of this, only believe what I believe, is like, you can be a different political party than me and we can still get along, or a different religion, or you can be a different like different sexual partners or something like that. Like, I'm heterosexual, but if you like the same sex, whether you're a man or a woman, something like that, I don't dismiss you or say that you cannot be friends with me. But there are those that say and really truly believe, if you're not the same religion as me, they don't want to be bothered with you. If you are not the same political party as them, they don't want to be bothered with you. And things of that nature. So that falls under ego as well. Okay, constantly living in the past, constantly reciting the past, constantly talking about being that quarterback, constantly talking about being on TV that one time that you did. And, it's just like a constant ongoing thing about the past. Like let me see, I can't remember the exact quote from Maya Angelou. It's not so much about, even though it matters, it does matter where you've been, but it's more about where you're going. So if you stay stuck on that, when I was 19 years old, I was on TV, or I did this play, or, this and that or whatever, and you constantly say that over and over and over and over and over and over again, like the Duracell battery, that's a part of ego. But then I think people get that twisted with bringing up certain things from the past needs to be brought up and discussed and let go and show how there are solutions for it. So that type of thing can be twisted just like anything else in the world. So the other one is insecurity and self-doubt. Oh yeah, I've had that a lot of times in my life, and I had to overcome that and dig deep to overcome that. So, I had a big ego when it comes to that. Insecurity, self-doubt. The next one would be constantly apologizing, always apologizing, but you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. But I'm sorry, but you just did it again. But I'm sorry, you did it a 10th time. I'm sorry, I won't do it again, but you do it again. So, and you fail to look within yourself to say, why do I keep doing it? Why can't I stop doing it? Why am I doing it? Is it gonna, benefit me? And why am I telling someone sorry if I keep doing this same thing over and over again that's hurting my partner, that's hurting my coworker, that's hurting my business partner, that's hurting my neighbor, but I keep saying sorry. So that just shows that the person is not looking within themselves to figure out what's really going on, Constantly worrying about what other people think about you is a huge one. And as far as the big ego, they say that those that don't worry about what other people think about you have no ego. Now, I've always used to say, I don't care what nobody think. I've always been pulled back. You don't dress like that. You don't wear your hair like that. You don't, oh my goodness, why did you say that? They're going to hate you. And I'm always saying, I don't care. I do care what people think, but I don't care. Like, I don't want to hold back what I have to say or how I want to look, or how I need to wear my hair, or how I need to speak, worrying about what somebody else is going to think, because it tears me up inside if I don't. I can't be myself, and the main thing is wanting to be myself, wanting to feel free, and not being held back and worrying about what others think about me. So I'm going to leave this one with, when I think it's so easy for me to look at somebody else and call out their, gosh, you got a big fat ego, and without looking into myself and saying, wait a minute, who the hell are you always calling out somebody's ego? What about you? What are your egos? And just like I mentioned, quite a few here, I didn't associate it with ego. And as he associate these with the ego, I'm like, wow, And then also, it's like, working on self. I realized this a long time ago when I first started on my journey, is that in looking into myself and trying to figure things out in life and learning about narcissism, all this other stuff, right? And I was watching a lot of podcasts, YouTube videos, and reading books and things of that nature on how to improve myself, looking into myself, and then things that I was curious, not what somebody else told me that I need to do, but when questions came up that I was curious about myself. And then when I thought I had it, and it was, I was like, oh, I got this now. I'm all that, I wasn't, I still needed to learn. I still needed to go back and get refresher courses, or refreshed, and go back to the drawing board of where I started. And, just realizing that and recognizing that, I was off my feet, bamboozled, all this whole thing for so long, but I'm always, I guess I look at it as always a life learner. That's it. All right. Peace. Okay. Part 2, ego. The last one was my review of Ed Mylett's video done a year ago on ego. I'll put the title under the description in the first one, and the same with this second one. This one is by Dr. Ramani. She has actually quite a few videos on ego, but both of these videos that I wanted to do was done about a year ago. So this one was about a year ago also, and its title is All Ego Bad. So this one starts with a healthy ego. Looking at the healthy part of the ego, being able to advocate for yourself, putting yourself first, looking at yourself, similar to what in the other video where it says you must love yourself. Not one of those looking in the mirror, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. No, really doing for yourself what is aligned to make you feel good. Things that you want to do within yourself. So this is huge, huge, huge. Also mentioned on the other one is being able to know yourself so well that you can hear other perspectives, other people's views, and know who you are. And you can also respect, with dignity and respect, other people's perspectives and views. Don't mean you have to agree, but you can respect them. and listen when you get into those type of conversations. I think. So this is so true. As sometimes you can look selfish to other people because it's like they'll look at you and say, why are they always putting themselves first? You know, they only look after themselves, and then they're going to, label you depending on the situation you're in. And regardless of what type of relationship, they're going to say, oh, they're so selfish. All they look at is themselves. But there's a big but to all this. I think it becomes hard when you're trying to communicate that to others, whether it be in an intimate relationship, co-worker, workplace, business, neighborhoods, communicating that to other people, that by putting yourself first, you're looking out for others. That's a hard dynamic to find balance in between that. Okay, so now this here particular video is talking about ego from the aspect of narcissists, and how narcissists seek validation, and they need to be validated and seen for who they are. And so this is a hard one. This is a really hard one. So it's like they have this big ego. We know ego as being bad, especially in these type of situations. And their egos are often distorted and just huge. I don't know how to explain it. Hold on. Okay, yes, I get that part. Is that it's this way because you ever see those people that refuse to look inward, to refuse to look at themselves about any situation, anything that they do? They cannot look in the mirror, look at the man in the mirror, like Michael Jackson say, no. They got to point their fingers at everybody else around them. And that's, I guess, where the distortion comes in at, and make a fuss and become extreme. It's everybody else's fault. It's, they can never look at the things that they are doing that are, causing the pain and the pointing fingers and the yelling, the fussing, the cussing. It's because of somebody else, And with this becomes that grandiose behavior, that over the top grandiose attitude, along with the me, and I'm superior. You'll see people in the workplace. It's like they oh my goodness. A lot of times they don't know the work they're doing, but once they try to pick other people's brain for what they're doing, they continue on with their superior being attitude, and everybody else is beneath them and below them. It's just this one talking about the ego is totally off hinge. It's horrible. What I'm gathering here is, who do you think you are? You have no right to set boundaries. So when you get the strength to know who you are, speak up for who you are, start setting boundaries and pointing out, you can't let them know you know who they are, but if they find out you know who they are, it's going to be hell to pay. It's like, you set no boundaries. Why are you setting boundaries against me? And there's a whole lot to it, and they will shame you, blame you, pull you back from that. When you try to find yourself and want to dig into yourself and find out who you are, and have your own mind and your own thoughts, this is like, they need to come for revenge for you, because this is such an attack on them. The big ego. So this is saying that even if you grew up in a childhood that came from a very healthy relationship, and you get into an intimate relationship or adult relationships, whether it be in the workplace, neighborhood, business, these type of relationships, they're narcissistic. They're really crazy situations. And their whole goal is to knock you down. If you decide to get out of the relationship or whether you decide to stay, you're not yourself anymore. Their ego is so huge that no matter how healthy you was going in, you're going to come out or you're going to heal within that relationship and you're not going to be yourself. And it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of time, because of that ego type, the bad ego type person that you dealt with has such a strong hold on you. It's not going to be easy to get yourself back and and when you decide, I want myself back, I want to look into myself, I want to be myself, it's going to be extremely hard, but it can be done. I only can share that from my experience. It can be done. Can any narcissistic person have a healthy ego? No way. Hell no. And it's dangerous. And to be in one of these type of relationships, as she mentions it's like death by 1,000 cuts. But when you fight for yourself, when you're in the relationship, it's always a constant battle, especially when you will not humble to this type of ego death or ego, whatever you want to call it, the big fat ego. And you're trying to be yourself. It's extremely difficult. But the good news is when you get out, if you get out, whether it's within your mind and your body is still there, whether it's your mind and your whole full body is out of it, you can gain yourself back by being around healthy people with healthy egos. This type of stuff that one may want to read that makes you feel good, things of that nature. I always have to go back and revisit these type of videos, and it's where I started, and stay grounded, because just because you have one of those type of relationships, you start to see more of similar personalities or behaviors around you, and it comes in different forms, whether it be in family structures, neighborhood relationships, intimate relationships, workplace relationships with co-workers, with managers, with bosses, in your business relationships, your business partners, etc. Going to the grocery store, just when you see it and you start seeing it and you see it, when you know what you want around you and what you don't want around you, and you're not selfish for saying, I don't want that type of behavior, personality around me. You start to spot it real quick and stay healthy and move on. Peace.